everyone, welcome to Elite Ninjas. This episode is about The Crucible by Arthur Miller. Now, before going into the plot, I'm going to give you a context or way of critically looking at it so that when you hear the plot, you have a critical understanding of it. Well, it is no way a replacement of reading a book, but I hope this would be enough for you to know the important details of the novel, The Crucible. The Crucible is a 1953 drama by the American playwright Arthur Miller. What is it about? Well, it's a drama about the Salem witch trials that happened in Massachusetts in 1692 to 93, but it's also fictionalized. So you cannot believe the entire drama as the truth. On March 1st, 1692, two colonial women, Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne, along with a black slave named Tituba, stood trial for being a witch. That's the whole thing that started it all. And there's also another incident that Betty Paris and Abigail Williams, 9 and 11 years old, they were observed as having strange fits or abnormal behavior according to then standards. So that's another incident. On June 10, Bridget Bishop was hanged to death at the Salem witch trials, and that was not the last. Several others followed. Around 19 of them followed. You will find different accounts, but they were mostly women. Why was Bishop considered a witch? Because she dressed differently than other puritanical women. Then she fought with her husband in the pub or in public places, and also her behavior seemed to have made others uncomfortable. Ringing any bells? Well, it still continues. The witch trial, even though it resulted in the mass murder, it still is continuing. When women behaves differently, when women thinks differently from the society, when women dresses differently from the rest of the people, it's a witch trial. And still now, witch is used against a woman as a derogatory term. So this is the context in which you should listen to the story of The Crucible by Arthur Miller. Important characters: Abigail, Reverend Paris, Reverend Paris's daughter Betty, Reverend Paris's nieces Abigail, then Elizabeth and John Proctor. John Proctor and Abigail, well, there's that relationship or the infatuation, I think, behind all this commotion. Then Reverend Hale, who is an expert in witchcraft. Judge Danworth, who presides all these proceedings, the witch trials. Then Tituba, the slave girl, who dances with the other girls in the forest. Mary Warren, she works in the household of Elizabeth and John Proctor, and she is the one who tells them of the news about Elizabeth being accused of witchcraft. She is also the one who turns against John Proctor in the court, saying that he is the one who bewitched her. The story is set in Salem in the New England, the puritanical New England. So there are a group of girls dancing in the forest, and there's also a slave girl named Tituba. They are found by the local parish priest, Reverend Paris. Now, Paris's daughter Betty is also part of this group. Betty falls into a coma-like state, and they're all taken or Paris's daughter, Betty, and Abigail, who is Paris's niece or a ward, is taken to his house, and the news of witchcraft shakes the entire community and they all gather. Now, Paris sends word to Reverend Hale because he is well known for dealing with witchcraft. And meanwhile, Paris questions Abigail. Abigail says, we didn't do anything wrong and we didn't do anything, nothing that's out of normal. Paris goes out to calm the crowd that has gathered outside his home, and meanwhile Abigail is visited by John Proctor. Who is John Proctor? Well, Abigail was working in John Proctor's house the previous year, but because of her emotional attachment or feelings towards John Proctor, his wife Elizabeth had sent her away. Now, Abigail still has feelings for John Proctor, but John Proctor tells her to be done with all this foolishness because he is never going to reciprocate whatever feelings she has. But Abigail still has feelings for him. Betty wakes up screaming, and all the people gather inside the room because they all want to know what's happening. Meanwhile, there's an argument between Thomas Putnam, Giles Corey, John Proctor, Paris about the land. So this also shows the hypocrisy hidden in the puritanical community. The politics that's hidden behind all this truthfulness, honesty to God, all those BS. Sorry about that. Reverend Hale comes and he questions Abigail, but he is suspicious of the way Abigail answers his questions. So he wishes to question Tituba. So Hale interrogates Tituba, and after some time she confesses that she has consorted to the devil and that she knows some witches in the crowd. Now Abigail also joins her and talks like devil has spoken to her and names some of the witches in the community. The crowd grows scared. A week later, John Proctor and Elizabeth is arguing over what's happening in the town. Apparently, some of the townspeople who have been accused of witchery has been murdered, hanged to death, as if there's a difference. So, and Elizabeth wants Proctor to denounce Abigail and tell the world or tell the community that Abigail is a fraud. But Proctor doesn't want to do that, and Elizabeth accuses him of having feelings towards Abigail. Now, Mary Warren, who works in their household, she comes back from the town and tells that Elizabeth had been accused of witchcraft, but the court is not proceeding it now. And they continue their discussion further, Proctor and Elizabeth. And Giles Corey and Francis Nurse comes and says their wives have been arrested. And Elizabeth also is arrested because some people come and arrest her. Now Proctor has it all, or he's done. He forces Mary Warren to tell the court and people that Abigail is a fraud, that she can't just point people who are witches, and this can't go on. The next day, Proctor takes Abigail to Judge Danworth and tells him that Mary is going to testify against Abigail. So Judge Danworth truthfully tells him that Elizabeth is pregnant, so they're not going to pursue charges against Elizabeth at this time. But Proctor doesn't want to stop there. He says no, she has to testify. And the girls are brought in so that Mary can testify against this curse. Now the tables have turned. The girls accuses Mary of consorting with the devil of witchcraft or bewitching them. Oh my God. Now Proctor tells the judge that there was an affair between him and Abigail, and that's why Abigail is jealous. So Judge Danworth has to make sense of this all. So he brings Elizabeth, John Proctor's wife, who is already arrested, to testify. Now the poor woman, she knows there's an affair, but in order to protect her husband's dignity, she says that there was nothing going on between John Proctor and Abigail. Everything is fallen to pieces. Now it seems like John Proctor is just lying, and it seems that, or it comes to the conclusion that Abigail knew, or the girls know who all witches are, and there's no secret desire in them to accuse these people. It's just them who truthfully telling who all are witches. So the girls had pretended that Mary is the one who bewitched them. Well, now Mary has it all, and she accuses John Proctor of doing witchcraft and bewitching her. Now John Proctor can't deal with these things, so he tries to, in a way, attack Mary and also against the court, so he's arrested. The summer passes, autumn arrives, and these witch trials have caused unrest in not just in this town, in neighboring towns as well. So Judge Danworth is not scared. He doesn't know what's gonna happen if this goes on. If the unrest goes on, there would be chaos. So Reverend Hale talks to these people who are falsely accused to just confess falsely, just to end it all, but they don't agree. Abigail also runs away with all of Paris's money too. And Judge Danworth sees an opportunity. He tells Elizabeth to tell John Proctor to confess so that they can end it all. Elizabeth was able to convince John Proctor to testify that he has been doing witchery, and the court is happy. They got a scapegoat. That's all they wanted. He wants to live, okay, but maybe he saw this was the only way out, but he refuses to incriminate anyone else. That means he doesn't say that, okay, this person was with me, he doesn't say that. That's a problem, and he also doesn't want to make this statement in public. Now this becomes the problem again for Judge Danworth. Well, at the end, he and the others are sent to the gallows. The play ends with this awful conclusion. Somebody who had nothing to do with witchcraft ends up dead. Thank you for watching Elite Ninjas. Like, share, subscribe.